stunning development today in the Argento sexual assault story. TMZ has published a photo that's being called a smoking gun. Here it is. Argento and 17-year-old Jimmy Bennett in bed together, shirtless. On Tuesday, yesterday, Argento insisted the two never had sex. There are also incriminating text messages Bennett and Argento would have at the time that, remember, he was 17, she was 37. The age of consent in California, 18. With Argento being one of the leaders of the Me Too movement, this certainly has a lot of people scratching their heads. Just moments ago, I spoke exclusively with Brad Appleton from TMZ. Yesterday, she said it didn't happen. Today, text messages and photos have surfaced thanks to you, TMZ. What's up? What can you share?
Well, that's exactly right, Dan. And this photo was kind of the smoking gun of the whole $380,000 settlement that Asia Argento made with a 17-year-old. And what I can tell you from the photo is it's the two of them. They're in bed, allegedly at a Marina Del Rey Ritz-Carlton hotel.
Keyword, allegedly. They could just be tanning.
And along with this photo, we have text messages that were allegedly between Asia and a friend of hers, where she talks about the experience in great detail, too. She does admit they had sex, and she also goes on to talk about repercussions if this were to see the light of day, including losing her job, to which she says, you know, if this kind of does come out, I lose my job, I'll move somewhere like Africa.
That's a move straight out of the Roman Polanski playbook.
Yeah, Brad, and hold on a second, because you moved through the text messages pretty quickly, but it's really important here where she says, I had sex with him, it felt weird, I didn't know he was a minor until later, but then she says, you can see my upper part of her body, that's all, it doesn't mean anything, is basically what she says. And that part you talked about her losing her job, she also says when I was 17, I was with a 33-year-old man for years.
Oh, that makes it okay.
Whoa, here, right?
Yeah, and especially that ending part, it's almost like she's trying to justify it, saying, you know, this happened to me when I was 17, it happened to him, no big deal.
Yeah, I want to be among the 90% of the world that doesn't give a blank about this.
In Hollywood, it's 100%.
For her to know that she had this in her past, and she was the face in the beginning of the Me Too movement. Stunning kind of, hypocrisy in this development, right?
What do you expect? It's
Exactly.
Hollywood.
It was her and Rose McGowan who had kind of started this whole thing to take Harvey Weinstein down. At the same time, she knows in the back of her head there was this settlement that we learned yesterday was actually paid by Anthony Bourdain, her longtime boyfriend.
Oh, hell no!
Over 300 grand paid for that? I hope he got something good out of it. Like, no more having to hold their purse while they're shopping. No more cuddling. No more having to watch chick flicks. Excused from forgetting anniversaries. I mean, what did he get out of this?
Continue to talk about it openly with friends and kind of put sexual assault victims in the rear view by saying, you know, I'd move somewhere else if this became a big deal.
There's something else pretty big, too, where she goes on to say in this back and forth in the text, right? And I'm going to quote here, it wasn't raped, she says. I don't know if she was trying to say it wasn't rape, but I was frozen. He was on top of me after he told me I had been his sexual fantasy since, I'm assuming he was 12, she said. It's almost like she's tap dancing. That, he raped her in some capacity, and that was another wow.
Wow.
Me. No?
Exactly, because when this story broke by the New York Times, that story had claimed that Asia provided the 17-year-old with alcohol, and she was kind of
Roman
the sexual
Polanski
aggressor.
again.
And this, while it confirms they did have intercourse, it makes it seem like he was the one who was more aggressive.
It sounds like there's still more to come, whether he wants to press charges or not. I know the police said they can't really move forward without him wanting to press charges, right? So it sounds like there will be more.
I think that's very fair, especially given all the layers to this thing.
All right, Brad. Thanks.